In this video, we have a lot to talk about because this is like a recap of the last week in terms of Hot Toys announcements and releases. Let's get started. Hi everyone, welcome to 16 Figure Focus, and in this video we're going to talk about the blogger photos for the Hot Toys Wednesday, the prototype images for the newly announced, that's just gone up for pre-order, Hot Toys Obi-Wan Kenobi Mustafar version, the blogger photos for General Grievous, and finally we're going to do a little comparison between the Darth Vader Mustafar Artisan Edition that just went up for pre-order this week. I think it's waitlisted already. It is waitlisted already in Sideshow. And a little comparison about all the million other Vaders. You've got Darth Vader, you've got low-fat Darth Vader, you've got I can't believe it's Darth Vader. There's loads of different versions of Darth Vader, and they're rebranding it, and they're getting money for their investment. But we'll take a look at it anyway. So, the most miraculous thing that happened this week is that Wednesday, not that it was released very early, like usually these things are like, you know, we see the pre-order images, photos, goes up for solicitation, it goes up for pre-order, we see all the prototype images and photos, and somewhere between a year to 18 months to sometimes 2 years. To be fair, they are getting better. Typically is in the window from a year to 18 months now. They're getting faster. That Superman came out in absolute no time, and this one was a very quick turnaround. Sometimes we do see that with kind of special exclusive pieces that they have, like say for Toy Fair. Sometimes they're ready to go, or sometimes there's a very small batch ready to go and the rest of us have to wait. For example, the Deadpool that they released kind of to coincide with the clean version of Deadpool, to coincide with the Deadpool and Wolverine movie, that when that released there was a quick batch available and you could get that very quickly. You might have to pay a bit more, and then the rest of us waited. Actually, no, to be fair, I got that one quickly. I usually wouldn't, but yeah, I got that one quickly. So the Bond one as well, I got quickly. So sometimes with the exclusives, they're ready and available now, and you can get them quickly, but then again, maybe Sideshow or other people get them a little slower. But Wednesday wasn't an exclusive. It wasn't an artisan. It wasn't like a limited piece. Although I heard that I think Kit had their numbers, pre-order numbers cut in half or something like that. Their allocation cut in half, something like that. Basically, I don't think Hot Toys, I don't think there was too much demand for this figure. But the most shocking thing is that Hot Toys actually released Wednesday on a Wednesday. That is mind-blowing stuff there. I didn't think they were capable of doing that kind of something that makes so much logical sense. Simple to the rest of us, but we are talking about the company that released Pennywise at Christmas. Halloween maybe? No? Maybe Friday the 13th? No? Anyway, so yeah, this is the Hot Toys 1/6 scale Wednesday Addams based on the likeness of the actress Jenna Ortega. This was $310. It is available on Sideshow, but it's still available. It's not hit waitlist if Sideshow is your go-to. If you want one of these, you can get them. I do think though, this might be one of those figures that because there's limited numbers, people will pass on it. Maybe in the future people actually want to. Maybe people aren't even like Hot Toys collectors, that they're just a big fan of Jenna Ortega or a big fan of, Tim Burton or the show itself or the Addams Family or whatever. And maybe they actually, by the way, this is going to be a long video, folks. We got a lot to get through. And yeah, the long form content tends to be doing well lately. And, I can kill a few birds with one stone instead of making little videos. But yeah, so this one here, I think this could be, because of its low numbers, apparently there's low pre-order numbers, that possibly this one could in the future pop up and be kind of hard to find. Makes sense, like it's supply and demand. So this here was expected to ship October 2025, which is quite quick because this only went up for pre-order like, I want to say a few weeks ago. I don't even think it was a few months ago. Maybe like, I don't know, 2-3 months ago. It wasn't, I think it was about 2 months ago. It wasn't that long. So this particular, that's yeah, so $310, the window was supposed to be Q4 of this year or Q1 of 2026. So with Wednesday Addams, when I think of the Addams Family, I think of the Addams Family and the Addams Family Values, those two movies, and like, they aren't the originals. There was a TV show, I think it was a black and white back in the day. It was a, there was a TV show and there was a cartoon as well, but remember like the original, I believe the original format was a TV show, if I'm not mistaken. And then of course they did the Addams Family and Addams Family Values movie, the ones with like Christina Ricci and Christopher Lloyd playing Fester. So, you know, they were good family movies. You know, do I have some sort of a connection to them? No. I do remember actually seeing Addams Family Values with my parents and my sister when I was very, very young in the cinema. So kind of a memory there, but it's not something, you know, they were fine. They're not bad movies. They're great to throw on around Halloween, but like, do I need to collect from them? Absolutely not. When I watched the show, I wasn't expecting much. I'm not the target audience. Like, I'm 41, nearly 42. I'm not the target audience for this. I think this is aimed towards young people in their teens and their 20s. Apologies for quick interruption to this video. If you're watching this video right now, hit the like button, and more importantly, hit the subscribe button. It really helps me grow the channel, and the support is greatly appreciated. Back to the video. But I do like Tim Burton, and I thought the actors did a great job. It wasn't like, I'm not going to recommend the show in the same way that I'd like recommend The Wire or The Sopranos or Breaking Bad to someone, or Andor. I'm not going to do that. But like, you know, if you want to sit down with your family, especially around Halloween, it's a handy watch, you know. But the thing is, like, even like if say like we're Stranger Things, for example, I'm rewatching Stranger Things. I do like Stranger Things. It did get me in the member berries and the nostalgia and all that kind of stuff. And I love the way it's kind of reminiscent of E.T., the Goonies, the 80s. I love the music in it, just the style, the clothes and stuff like that. Absolutely, you know, I'm an 80s, 90s kid, so I get totally suckered in on that. But it's well written and it's entertaining. And I'm in the process of rewatching it, and especially around Halloween, it is that kind of like Halloween kind of like, I want to say horror, not particularly scary, but you know what I mean. It has the horror theme, but it's kind of a family-friendly watch for the most part. In the process of rewatching that, I would recommend people watch Stranger Things. Whereas Wednesday, I'm like, yeah, it's fine, it's good. She does a good job. She's the best part of the show. And it's a bit harmless. I think the season 1 was better. But look, all that being said, she comes in a 1/6 scale cello. In fairness, when are you going to get a 1/6 scale cello? And for the most part, the way it's there, I think just this image here, the way it's posed is very natural. So you got the cello, obviously the oh my god, I'm forgetting the name. Is it the bow? It's a bow, yeah, because I think it's a bow for a violin and a cello. Even the way she's sitting there, she's sitting quite naturally. I think the chair comes with her. I think the bass is awful though. I think the bass takes me out of it. It really, could they not match it? I think what would suit that a bit more is like the floor in her room in the show. I'm pretty sure it wasn't made of this kind of like, almost like a concrete kind of a look. I think it was like wooden floorboards would have been better. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I think the bass looks cheap and tacky there. And even like the Wednesday sticker on that, it just looks very cheap, and we've seen this base, it's a reuse, so that would be my critique on that. I think the likeness is there. I heard a lot of people saying it looked nothing like Jenna Ortega. I don't think it's the best likeness, but I do think the likeness is there, especially in this shot here. They definitely captured her expression. I think this is kind of cool though, I have to say, and you know, it'll be, sometimes I'm tempted to, like, I really like Beetlejuice, you know, and she was in the sequel actually. She's in the sequel to Beetlejuice. I'm going to rewatch Beetlejuice and Beetlejuice 2. I'm in that kind of like, been watching some really good horror movies lately. I thought I watched Long Legs, that was pretty good. Midsummer, very disturbing, maybe 3 stars out of 5. But after thinking about it and thinking about all, it was staying on my mind after a while, and I was like, no, that's actually a better movie than 3 stars. So I bumped it up to 4 star. Been rewatching, you know, some classics like Halloween. You know, it's Halloween, you know what I'm saying, and Stranger Things and stuff like that. So this here, it looks good. It looks good, and if you were a big fan of the show, that doesn't look great. That I think that I really don't like the background. Some of the photographers do a great job, and like Ultra Ben in fairness usually does a great job, but this here, it's very obvious that it's just a figure in front of a background or a screen or something. It looks, they're not blended very well, and again, it looks better than what I could do. This is great. I love this. This is really good. So the likeness, I can definitely see the likeness. I don't think it's a bad likeness. I don't think it looks, like people are saying it looks nothing like her. That's not true. I think like in this photo here, it looks quite strong. Like I think in this one, I think this one actually might, I think this turned out better than the prototype. So maybe the prototype images were just, maybe it's just bad lighting and poor photography, because this looks better. I do think the hand looks very plasticky, that right one, and I'm not even talking about the thing yet. I don't think the thing is done that great. There's some photos we'll see later on, it's not great. The sculpted hair could be a little better on the top of the head there. It looks very plasticky there. Again, that could be just the lighting in that particular shot. The pigtails look great. The collar on the shirt is actually quite good. They usually really oversize that. but they've definitely made that smaller. I suppose they had to because she's a kid. Maybe it's still a little bit oversized. Tie looks good, undershirt, like it all looks good. And all the little accessories and stuff like that do look quite good. The cello is really the star of the show. You kind of have to pose her with the cello, really. So, now see, the thing there, I think that looks rough. I think they could have done a better job with that. Ironically, like, I think it's oversized. Now, I know she's a kid, and the thing would have been taken from, I think it's an adult male, you know? So, I think they explain the origin of the thing in the second season. So, I think they've oversized it, which is ironic. I know the hand is going to be bigger than her hands. I get that. But Hot Toys have a habit of oversizing hands. And I think the detail, it looks very plasticky, whereas she looks great here. I genuinely think that the blogger photos, the blogger images here are so much better than what we saw in the pre-order images. And I think the likeness is a lot stronger here. So I think this likeness is quite good. Whereas before I was a bit skeptical and I thought maybe it was about a 6. Whereas this, like, I think it's jumped up 1 or 2 points. I think that looks pretty good. I think that's about an 8. I think it's a solid 8. Not the best head sculpt I've ever seen, but solid likeness. She was very good in the role, I have to say. Like, her deadpan delivery is what got me. That looks quite good though, but I think I prefer the pose when she's actually using the cello. It looks quite natural. Does it come with an umbrella as well? That's pretty cool. Again, there's a lot you can do with this. That's a pretty good pose. Just straight up and down. Yeah, it looks the part. The tailoring is quite good as well. I think they've got the proportions quite well. She's kind of a petite woman. So the thing though, the hand looks bad. I think it's too big, too plasticky, and I know that it has one opposable thumb, but it's just that's definitely taken me out of it. In all of these photos, that is the weak point. Looks good. They've definitely done a lot better with these photos. So yeah, like, you know, some of these things, like, it'll be nice to have them for Halloween, and then just like say, like in the movie icons display downstairs, maybe replace for Halloween with kind of more dark. I don't really have a horror collection, but there are figures in my collection which could double as a horror figures. Like this would look great if you got it. The Feral Predator, Jungle Hunter, the big chap when it arrives. Even like the Battle Damaged Terminator, like especially the one from Terminator 1, because Terminator 1 is a sci-fi horror. I think a lot of people say it's a horror movie. It's not a straight up horror movie with the time travel and the T-800s and the action. It's a science fiction, it's a sci-fi horror. Whereas I think the second movie is a sci-fi action. They're both science fiction, but the first one is more horror sci-fi and the second one's action. The same way the Alien and Aliens have the sci-fi horror for the first one and just a sci-fi kind of action for the second one. Yeah, look, all I can say is I think it looks pretty good. I think they've done a good job, better than the prototype image from what I could see. It's just, the series was fine. It's just not something that I can commit to because, again, these things are very expensive and you got to pass on all these things that look cool and pass on things you like to get the things you love. So yeah, let's move on. This is an exciting one if you collect prequels. Now, if you've been following the channel, you know that I am not a prequel collector. I'm an original trilogy guy. I think the sequels were a dumpster fire, and I don't think too much of the prequels either, to be honest. Now, I don't watch the sequels. Episode 9 I watched once. I'll never watch it again. I think episode 8 I might have watched twice, maybe 3 times. Force Awakens is watchable, but again, like, I'd rather sit down and watch one of the original trilogy or Rogue One or whatever. But the prequels, I can watch them. Every now and then, not like once a year or anything, but every now and then I'll go, I'm going to stick on episode 1. Yeah, Revenge of the Sith, probably the best one. Then episode 1 and Clone Wars is the worst. This here, though, I think a lot of people lose their minds for this because a popular opinion is this is the greatest duel in live action Star Wars, or even Star Wars in general. Live action Star Wars, though, hands down, it is Duel of Fates. Like, my favorite duel personally would be Empire Strikes Back. It's a simple duel. They don't have the effects. They didn't have Ray Park's acrobatic martial arts expertise. It's a simpler fight. They were limited with everything from, like, I don't know, stunts, advancements in professional special effects they didn't have and stuff like that. I just really like what it means. You know, it's son versus father. You eventually have that twist. I would have loved to watch that, not knowing that Darth Vader was Luke's father. It's very cinematic. You've got that underglow, that orangey kind of. In that room, there was coming from freezing, embezzlement coming from the freezing chamber or something. There was a kind of an orangey, reddish underglow. It was a bit dark. There was a bit kind of some dry ice going on, I think, for my not misremembering. You've got the blue lightsaber, the red lightsaber, good versus evil. Luke was out of his depth. He gets taken apart, and it's great, but not in terms of the choreography. The Duel of Fates is the best duel in Star Wars live action as far as I'm concerned. It looked like an actual fight. You have Ray Park, like he was peak Ray Park, martial arts expert, incredibly mobile, well able to move. You got the double-bladed lightsaber. You got a fantastic, one of the greatest characters of all time within Darth Maul, and you had Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan, and just the three different colors, even the double-bladed red, the green of Qui-Gon, the blue of Obi-Wan, and all together it looked like a very well choreographed fight. Whereas this duel kind of there's a lot of CGI, and that really killed the prequels for me. Like whether it's the lava bases or the things that they're on, there was a lot of times they were swinging around the sabers and not actually hitting each other. It looked more like a dance fight, you know. It kind of reminds me of that character, and I think is it Despicable Me 3? That 80s character, or, you know, guy who says, I've been a bad boy, you know, that guy. So yeah, I just felt it was just jump the shark for me. It doesn't do it for me. I get how important it is in the lore. I get the emotional impact of it. In terms of like the choreography, it looked a lot of time more like a dance as opposed to a duel in parts. So there was a bit of a jump in the shark going on there. So, but all that being said, even though I'm not going to collect this, I do think this looks good. We've seen this head sculpt multiple times before. Let's not kid ourselves. We've seen it with the Mandalorian version he comes with when I think it's from Clone Wars, when he's in the Mandalorian outfit undercover. We've seen it before in the artisan version, Attack of the Clones? Is it the same head sculpt they use to put on artisan hair? We have definitely seen it. It's the lip that gives it away. The actual him in the Clone Wars. I know. To me, this looks like the same sculpt for sure for when he's in the Mandalorian outfit, and the one when he's in the Clone Wars outfit. Now, it could be the same sculpt as the Kenobi TV show. It could be the same sculpt as the Artisan Attack of the Clone version, when, you know, the one when he comes with the artisan hair and he's holding on to that droid thing, you know. I'm not entirely sure on that one, but it's just the lip. It's just the lip. They still haven't nailed that. However, this is the best it's looked. I do think whatever they've done with the paint apps in this and the hair, I do think this is the best Hot Toys 1/6 scale Obi-Wan Kenobi figure based on Ewan McGregor out there. The best one is Alec Guinness. It's right behind me. No doubt. Original trilogy all the way, man. Original trilogy all the way. Let's have a flick through some of these. You know what, we'll take a look first of all at, I just want to see how much he is. So Obi-Wan is $315. And it's up for pre-release. This isn't artisan, even though it has some, like, I think it has like a bit of rooted hair on the fringe. We'll take a look at that in a minute. And this is due to ship quarter 4, October to December of next year, and the price on that $315. So you can just go on Sideshow and order it if that floats your boat. So yeah, that's look, what I like about it though, I do think it's the best this head sculpt has seen. Although we have seen this head sculpt multiple times. I think the hair looks quite good, even though I think whatever they've done with the maybe it's the lighting or maybe it's the paint applications on the beard and stuff like that, I do think it's quite good. It's just not all the way there yet. It's just the lip. It looks like he's got some food underneath his lip and he's saving it for later, and he's getting this kind of exaggerated mustache thing. I suppose it's hard to sculpt a mustache, which is obviously just the lip and then the hair, but they're just sculpting it. I think the tabards look good. I'm a sucker for weathering and battle damage, because I think it adds just that bit more character and texture and kind of real world lived in kind of features, and for me it makes it look realer. So I think they've done a great job. Really like the color of the boots there and the style of the boots. I wonder, those boots I presume probably have ankle articulation. It seems to be, if you look at this one here, his right, on our left, on the left of the screen, but his right ankle, there seems to be a bit of a pivot there. So I'd imagine, is that what they've done, like the little ankle joint? They're doing that a lot lately. They did with the Deadpool and Wolverine yellow and blue suit Wolverine, which I have here, just haven't unboxed yet. But there's ankle articulation in the boots, so it's not like a split cut boot, so you can't see any joint. And also they haven't just get the boots in one piece like they did with the Bane 2.0, which is an incredible figure, but that would be one of my critiques on that. I love the proportions on this. I love the outfit, the tailoring, the weathering. So yeah, this is exciting. This is very exciting for passionate prequel Padawans. You know, people who are mad for the prequels and big Obi-Wan fans. I heard this. Okay, I want to take a look at this. Yeah, I heard this. Like, this is not true. I saw it on the internet. Couldn't be true. Like, maybe it is, but I don't think it is. I haven't fact checked it. I want it to be true. That Obi-Wan's brother is a fighter pilot and his call sign is Obi-2. As in, sorry, Ewan McGregor's brother in real life is a pilot and his call sign is Obi-2. I saw it on the internet. It's probably not real. I haven't fact checked it. I just think it's funny. So here, yeah, you can see it. You can see. I can see Ewan McGregor here. Of course, you got the separate rolling eyeballs feature. I think they got the hair color right. He is kind of gingery, and if the hair ends up like that, see, it's sculpted at the back, but just this front part is rooted. That's a bit of a gamble. Like, why? Why didn't they just go all sculpted? Like, they're very good at doing sculpted, but maybe they just want to add to the realism there. But they're getting really good at doing sculpted and little separation and the finer details of sculpted. So it's interesting choice. Now maybe this comes out and they're like, yeah, this is the way to go for a shorter haired figure, a blend of sculpted and rooted. But I'd be a bit skeptical on that until I see it done and executed well. Yes, just that top lip still I think needs work there, but this is the best it's looked. I'd say this is an 8 out of 10 as well. Not perfect, but definitely not bad. And they're working with the kind of I think they're limited by reusing that sculpt. They can only get the likeness so good. That's not great. That makes me think it's about a 7. Like, the base is huge. I mean, if you're going to get this one, and then like I do, we're going to talk about the Anakins later on, but I think if you're an Anakin collector, and I think the sculpted is the way to go. I do think the sculpted is the way to go, because those artisan hairs, they're just not great. But yeah, like if you had this set up with like Neo LED sabers, like, you know, I have CCFLs, they're, you know what I'm talking about. Like, I have CCFLs, but the overheating stuff. But a Neo LED saber, a custom saber that glows bright all the way to the top and is not just base lit. It'd be very easy to hide the wires because they'd come out. You could take off the robe and you could feed the wires from the custom sabers up through those garments, down the back, like you'd never see them. Like, just, it'd be well worth the effort, and this would look incredible. That base is absolutely huge. I think I want to go through all the way first. I'll work my way backwards. They're really selling both figures with this. Okay, so for your, what did we say the price on this was? I think I said $315. Yeah, $315. So $315 gets you this Obi-Wan Kenobi 6-scale figure with separate rolling eyeballs, hair sculpt. So it's sculpted hair with implanted wool material fringe. You've got the weathered, burnt up tabards and you know, Jedi outfit. LED powered, light up function powered by USB. So if you don't want to go get a custom saber, it's still LED powered. But look, they're not good. They're base lit. I don't like them at all. But look, they've taken a step in the right direction. They have USB powered, and we're asking that for the longest time. Now take a step a bit further and basically copy what the customs are doing, so that people don't have to go and spend like €100 a pop for custom LED sabers. Speaking of custom LED sabers, shout out to Ironworks Studios on Instagram. That's at ironworks.customs. Sorry, did I say studios? Yeah, Ironworks Custom. So at ironworks.customs on Instagram. They have donated not one, not two, but 3 of these custom 1/6 scale lightsabers, the Neo LED lightsabers. They're about €100 a pop, $100 a pop, whatever. There's not so much difference between the euro and the dollar, but one's a Vader, one's an Obi-Wan, and one is a Luke, and I'll be giving them away. It's a channel members only giveaway, and that will be done on the Hope Show, episode number 100 of the Hope Show, which is Monday the 27th of October. So if you want to be in with a chance of winning one of those, become a channel member. Troopers get 1 entry, and the commanders get 3 entries. So yeah, that also comes with, that's it, bunch of hands. So yeah, look, exciting times. Like if I was a prequels collector, this would be the one I'd more than likely get. Actually, no, I tell a lie. If I was a prequels collector, I'd want a Maul, a Qui-Gon, and a Qui-Gon 2.0 is coming, make no mistake about it. Probably Artisan as well. I think I'd want, if I was a prequels collector, it'd be that Maul 2.0, the Padawan Obi-Wan, which they haven't done, which surely they're going to do, and then Liam Neeson's Qui-Gon. Yeah, but I'm not a prequels collector, and I will not be collecting them. So let's move on and talk about Grievous very, very quickly. Like I said, I won't be collecting this. I don't collect prequels. If this can stand, it's already 10 times better than the Sideshow one. From what I understand, that was a hot mess in terms of wasn't able to stand, hold its own weight. People had to mod it. The joints were loose. It was a disaster. They released it, and then they did a 2.0, claim it was fixed, and it was more or less the same thing, and with maybe modest improvements, but a lot of people were kind of modding it to get it to stand up, and basically I heard if you farted, the thing fell over. Alright, so this here, if it can stand, it's already going to be better. So taking a look at this, there, I love that. In fairness, the Ultra Ben has, this is Ultra Ben, it is there. I don't know if it's a male or female or what, but like, this is brilliant. Like just what they've done here with the photography and the obviously the lightsabers. He comes with 4 lightsabers. They must be all, I presume they're all LED light up. They're not going to look like this, but if you get like a custom Neo LED saber, like from Ironworks or whoever, they do kind of, they look like this. They look like this pretty much, very, very close to it anyway. They look a lot better than those Hot Toys stock ones. But then, of course, like, you just have to be clever about how you're hiding your wires. Make sure that if you're going through the effort spending, like, that'll be like $400 and then shipping. If you're going through the effort of getting them, go through the effort of hiding the wires and don't break the immersion, because it's a big figure. You should be able to hide those wires in behind all the mechanics and the dark parts of his body there. So this is cool what he's doing with the clones here and the Geonosis battle droid. In fairness, this looks pretty damn good. I have heard multiple people talking about the eyes. I don't have the eye for this particular, no pun intended, this particular character. It's not a character, I know everyone loves it, but again, maybe it's just because I don't like the prequels. I'm not gone on it. I don't get it. I'm just not a big Grievous fan. I think people were saying the eyes are supposed to be a bit more reptilian looking, and the surrounding of the eyes is, but I want to quickly look at that, because what I'm noticing, it's really dark around the eyes, and I thought his eyes were a bit bigger, more yellow, more reptilian looking. So General Grievous eyes. All right, let's take a look at this. Now what I'm seeing here, because there's a close-up image in the movie. Yeah, so the eyes are kind of like, they're like a greenish yellowy, kind of like cat eyes, and it's got that kind of cat style, almost Lord of the Rings Sauron style vertical pupil instead of like a circle. It's more like a slit, like cats. And then around the eyes, it's more flesh toned, like more. It's actually scaly looking. It looks kind of like a kind of a reddish brown. It's definitely not as dark as this, but again, that could be lightened. But this is, yeah, like it's dark in the image I'm looking at, but I'm kind of seeing hints of more like a wine, or kind of maybe dark pinks or browns, but definitely not as dark as this here. I think the pitting and the weathering looks pretty good on it. That's what you want. That's what you want. You want to get yourself, if you're getting this, go the extra mile. It's a lot of money, but invest in those custom sabers and hide the wires and have this USB powered and just have it on a smart plug when you come in, because like I get that will look incredible. And just have them surrounded by a bunch of, like, I don't know, dead clones or something like that. You got that cape and all the texture on the inside. Like, this is kind of a big deal for Star Wars collectors, big deal for prequels collector. Not for me personally, but yeah, I think for the most part, from what I'm seeing, I need to watch a few more reviews. I saw a size comparison, and that's pretty much it. Now, just looking at his arm there. See here, one of his arms. He got 4 arms, but to see the one arm is holding the green saber directly underneath, is that like cut off? Does it have battle damage parts? Or I can't see a hand there. It looks like it's been cut off, so maybe you have swap up battle damage parts, or maybe it's a bit of Photoshop. Not entirely sure. Yeah, like, I think they've done a good job. If that can stand, hold a pose, like if it can hold poses like that, I think you're about to see some incredible stuff. I hope Zord Photography gets this, because I want to see what he's going to do with this, and with a bunch of clones or droids, something like that. So yeah, that is pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Okay, the Anakins. Okay. Over the past few years, there's been the original 1.0 light side Anakin, dark side Anakin. There was the Clone Wars Anakin that came with the Stap. Then there was the Attack of the Clones episode 2 Anakin. I did that at the same time as Padme for like as a 20th anniversary of Attack of the Clones. Then we've got the Ahsoka Chadakin, that one, you know. Then we've got the first Artisan Anakin, the one that I gave away on a giveaway a few months back. Then they've got the Japan. I heard, who did I hear? It was Ben Thomas saying the Japanican. I like that. That's my sense of humor. So yeah, the Japan exclusive, which is basically kind of like, it looked like Darkseid, but the eyes were different. People were saying it was more like, they call it Sith Apprentice. So I'll actually show it here. So that was the original Artisan. So we're on 7 now. So again, light side 1.0, dark side 1.0. The Clone Wars one that you could buy on its own or with the Stap. The episode 2 one. The one from the Ahsoka show. Okay. Then, they call it the Rizakin or whatever like that. Then with the Anakins, there's 4 of them. So this one here would be 7. Would that be right? No, 6. Then the Japan one, the Japanican, 7. The Sculpted Heron, which I think is the pick. That's 8. And then 9. Crazy. But like, if you do not have an Anakin and Anakin is your guy and you want one from the prequels, you probably want one from, I'm guessing, you more than likely want the episode 3 one. Oh, by the way, the only one they haven't done is that one from episode 1, the kid, but you know, Hot Toys don't really typically make minor figures and stuff like that. When I say minor, I mean under the age of 18. But then again, they did, what was it? The original Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan came with a tiny little baby in like a swaddle, and it was like, that makes no sense, but it's funny. So yeah, like if you're in the market for an Anakin, you missed out on the 1.0 and, you know, light side and dark side, which are, I suppose, in a way showing their age, I suppose. And you're in a market for an episode 3 Anakin, this one is waitlisted on Sideshow, and I think fetches a pretty penny. This one people are spending over $1,000 on. This one here is the one to get, I think. And then this one here is on waitlist on Sideshow. Just have a quick look at the Anakins. So you won't find the Japanican here because that was exclusive to Japan, and Sideshow never got it, I believe. But the light side, if Sideshow is your place where you buy stuff, your go-to, it's $415 and it's on waitlist. So then the dark side, so that we'll go in order actually. The normal sculpted one is $310, and then the Mustafar edition, which just went up for pre-order, is waitlisted, and that's $430. So like, if you look to compare what they all come with. So this is the light side one. Now, the reason I'm saying this one is the pick is because I don't think the hair has been good on this one or this one or this one. If you look at this is the prototype image. Look at this here on the right. That was one of the finest prototype images I've ever seen from any 1/6 scale figure. It's up there with, I always reference the prototype images for the in-art 1/6 scale Aragorn. Just looked like a person, and this is in the same boat. But when I look at this now and I look at the final product, it's not just the hair. Here, the hair looks kind of, it looks dry. There doesn't seem to be much product on it. It's just sitting naturally. It just looks like regular dried out hair that's sitting naturally. There's not too much product on it. But not just that, the face, I think, looks very good. I think there's been a bit of Photoshop kind of trickery going on there to make that look more human and more like Anakin than the actual figure. The actual figure, I don't think the sculpt is as good as this, and the hair is definitely not as good as this. I'm not sold on the artisan hair. So I don't think it's that big a deal if you can't get this, because I think this sculpted one is the way to go. And there's a price differential. This is $310, I believe. So yeah, it is $310. But with this one here, let's just have a look at, let's compare them and see what it comes with. So this one was the light side one. It's weightless and sideshow. Separate rolling eyeballs features. It has 2 lightsabers, because I think it had Dooku's at this stage. So it had the red and the blue. LED lightsaber powered by USB. I think only one of them was powered by USB. It's just ridiculous. A bunch of swap out hands. The base looks like a cog. And then you've got, okay, I do think it's a nice touch that you have the mechanical arm. The Japan exclusive then, you have separate rolling eyeballs, but you've got the Sith eyes, which are more red, and I believe in Revenge of the Sith it was more yellow. So they were clever. They milked this. They absolutely milked this. By the way, I don't have any sympathy for anyone who went to Japan Star Wars Celebration and then got this and feels hard done by. Like when I collected carded figures, you know, the carded, what are they, 3 3/4 inch figures? The normal carded figures back in the day when I was young. When, you know, episode 1 came out, and then they had episode 2 come out, and it was like a lot of the time it was the same figures with just a different box, and even sometimes they had these different versions of they come up with like a different non-branded, when I say non-branded, it was still branded Star Wars cards of figures that weren't episode 1, 2 and 3, and they had, like, you know, original trilogy and prequels as well, and it was like the same stuff rehashed, and realized, okay, you're never going to be able to collect everything. They don't particularly look like who they're supposed to look like. The proportions aren't great and stuff like that. There's not, for the most part, they're 3 3/4 inch. Like they're you collecting. It's a real collector's thing. It's nice when you see all these carded figures display, but like I didn't want to be collecting them just to put them in boxes. I like to actually display these things. So that's why I found Hot Toys. I think the scale is ideal. It's big enough that you can include better detail, better engineering, better posability, better lightness. You can do things like rooted hair, or you can do LED powered stuff or lights, and for the most part the realism is so much better. It's big enough that the realism and the detail is so much better, but small enough that it's not a giant statue taking up a lot of space. You can have a few of them. So when I turned my back on that, what it taught me all those years ago, and you're talking like, you know, 25 years ago, that like you're never going to be able to get everything. These companies just want your money. So be a bit more shrewd about which figures you're gonna get. You don't need to collect everything. At least, anyway, I don't care what anyone does. It's none of my business. You know, I don't pay your bills, so you shouldn't listen to me. In the same way that no one should tell me how I should spend my money, because I'm the one who's working and earning and looking after my finances, stuff like that. So, but what I realized is like, okay, these companies, they just want your money. You're never going to be collect anything, or everything. So don't be a completionist. Just pick the characters that mean the most to you. The triple threats, that's what I call them. If you've been following the channel, you know where this is going. Characters that I love the source material, that I love the character, love the source material, and love that particular version of the character. I also throw in, will you like this character in 10 years? Perfect example, the DX46 T800 Battle Damage T800 2.0. Love the source material. Terminator 2 is one of the greatest movies of all time. Love the character. Terminator and Arnie just did a bang up job. And love that particular version with that style of outfit, the battle damage, the weathering, everything. Will I like it in 10 years time? Of course. I've been watching that movie since I was, 10? So, going back to that, the people who purchased this, okay, if someone got on a plane and traveled to Japan just to get this, I think that is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Because what are you're spending, like, for a return flight from Ireland to Japan, from Dublin to Tokyo is what? It's probably about €1,600, and then accommodation is expensive in Japan. Everything's expensive in Japan. Things are going to be even more expensive. The tickets for Star Wars Celebration, the money you're going to spend inside. Now, don't get me wrong, merch is cool and all that. If I was there, I might have picked one up. Who knows? Well, probably not, because I don't collect prequels. But if there was something there that I did collect, like, but I personally go to those things. Like if I go to a New York Comic Con, if I ever went to New York Comic Con or San Diego Comic Con, or I've been to Star Wars Celebration, I go to meet the people that I stream with. I go to listen to the guests and the directors being interviewed, and some of the cast for the original Star Wars and some of the cast from The Mandalorian or whatever. I do like to go around and see the props and stuff like that, and you know, the panels, and yeah, merch is kind of cool. It's nice to get some swag and all that, like, but like going over to Japan just to get this, when you know that Hot Toys are just gonna capitalize on their molds and their head sculpts and all the different parts of this, and they're going to make a 2.0 or 3.0. They reissue things, they 2.0, they 3.0, they just add in little things. It didn't make sense. At the same time, if someone wants to spend $1,000 on it, there's no issue with that either. It's just I think it's ridiculous, but I'm not taking shots at someone for spending over $1,000 on this. If they want it, they want it. But I just wouldn't do it for this. Maybe there's something else I would like, but this one here is not Darkside Anakin. It's branded the Sith Apprentice. It's an exclusive. It's a funny one. It kind of comes with everything that this comes with, but it has the Sith eyes, one lightsaber which is USB powered. I think does it come with the second one as well? I think there was something left out of this. Has the hand, the base is awful. I think it's stupid, this kind of semicircle thing, and then a few swap out hands. Fine. This one is the one to get. 310, separate rolling eyeballs, interchangeable light and dark side eyes. The hair sculpt looks pretty damn good. They've getting better and better. Hot Toys have the edge with the sculpted hair. They're getting better and better. Even like the little separation at the front. You've got LED light up function powered by USB. I don't know if that's 2 lightsabers or 1. You've got a base, 2 different bases. One regular kind of, just kind of rectangular one with kind of almost like a sandy surface. He hates that. Scorched earth actually. And then you've got this kind of droid base, which I don't believe lights up, and a few swap out hands. It's modest enough, but like you've got the light side, you got the dark side. The only bad things about this really is that the base doesn't light up. Because it'd be cool if the lava actually lit up underneath that. And they've done that before with that Night Monkey Spider-Man from Far From Home. And another one, there's no robe. There's no robe there. So, like, handy enough to get a third-party robe, or maybe a robe from another Anakin from Revenge of the Sith, maybe the 1.0 or something like that. Toy Anxiety or something like that. Or maybe just kind of get it on eBay. Or I think do like Topo does. Someone will make a custom cape. Won't be a problem. I think that's the way to go. This one here then, we all knew this was coming when, like, everyone, I saw a lot of content creators and collectors saying, oh, we call this. Everyone called this. Everyone. No one out there didn't call this. We know once they did the light side artisan, they're obviously going to do the dark side artisan. So you got the separate rolling eyeballs function, the Sith eyes. You don't get the interchangeable light side, dark side eyes here. You've got the wool hair implantation. I don't think that hair looks good. What they've done here though, they're a bit more honest, because this looks fantastic. Look at this hair on the right. That looks fantastic. The sculpt looks fantastic. The hair looks fantastic. It didn't turn out like that. This here though on the right, this is probably going to how it's looked. It's not as good as this. That looks more lifelike, more like a human. Whereas this one looks more like a figure. I'm not saying it looks... Okay, I don't think the hair looks good. Separate rolling eyeballs function, wool hair implantation. You've got the mechanical hand. It's LED light up function on the base, so it looks like the lava lights up, and the eyes of the droid there, the kind of the lights, the kind of blue, kind of icy look. LED light up powered saber, and you get a robe with this one. They know what they're doing. That's it, folks. That's the end of the video. So in conclusion, Wednesday looks good. Obi-Wan looks good. Very exciting times for prequel collector. There's any amount of Anakins out there. I think that's the one to get. And this one, like this, it's not artisan. It's not limited. You can just go on and order it now if you want. Grievous looks good too. Yeah. So it's a great time to be a prequels collector. Folks, that's it. That's the end of the video. If you want to support the channel, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, let me know if you're picking up any of these or not. consider becoming a channel member because, and this is important, on an episode 100 of The Hope Show on the Monday the 27th of October, we are giving away, for channel member giveaway only. If you're a trooper, you'll have 1 entry. If you are a commander, you have 3 entries. There's loads of stuff. We're going to do multiple duck races. And again, if you don't win the first duck and you're a trooper, maybe you'll win the second or the third. And even if you're a commander, if you win on the first race, you still have 2 ducks left. We're giving away 3 1/6 scale custom LED lightsabers from Ironworks Customs. We're giving away 3 DX46 light up kits. Thanks to fusion reactors, it lights up the eye on the DX46 and the base. So that's 2 things. $168 of store credit has been donated by the Luke Lights. They're the company that make the custom lights for IKEA Detovs, the Leedens, Millsbows, the ones I have behind here and down the Millsbow downstairs. We're giving away a Modu Space have donated a $150 voucher. Bob the Tiny Art Guy makes these fantastically detailed kind of blanket throws with like various different characters on it. Check out his Instagram. He does loads of different he does like Star Wars and a bunch of different other things. Very, very talented, very, very intricate detail. Check out Tiny Art Guy on Instagram. You can see all the different throws and artworks that he has. And last but not least, Lion Rock Toys. Well, this is a collaboration between myself and Lion Rock Toys. That's who I buy from. That's who I review for. We're donating half a figure. So I'm paying for half of a Hot Toys Lady Pool. They're paying for half as it. So basically I don't need to pay for half it. So they're donating half, I'm donating half. So it's the Hot Toys Lady Pool from Deadpool and Wolverine. So all those giveaways are going to be given away Monday the 27th. You can also follow me on Instagram. That's it. That's the end of the video. See you in the next one. Good luck.